Between 2012 and 2016, progress against child labour has been mostly limited to older children in hazardous work, as was already the case in the mid-2000s. And here's the bad news. There was almost no reduction in the number of children aged 5 to 11 in child labour, and the number of those most vulnerable youngest children in hazardous work actually increased. These are things we must remember.
I remember that day when I walked in with hundreds of core marchers of the Global March. The children who were enslaved, trafficked, the children who were forced to work as child soldiers, child laborers from all across the world, when ILO has opened the door for the most vulnerable, most exploited and most abused children of this planet. And it was not that they were simply coming to cry here. They put a challenge to the world.
20 years back, with hundreds of other children, we came here because we were from the different background. That background was not good. It was like hazardous. It was totally like inhuman. So we enter here, and then I just remember that I was like, climbing on the desks of people, and then I was just raising slogans. Go, go, global march, stop, stop child labor. We want education. No more tools in tiny hands. We want books and we want toys. I became orphan at the age of 4.5. And then I became part of the street gangster. I just did rack picking. I worked in the eatery shops. Lots of work I did. And I was here and saying to all the people who were coming from different countries, I just say, I came to know that you are the responsible person behind my snatched away childhood.
There was a child from Bangladesh who lost his leg while working in a factory. So he was marching across the globe with one leg, but with strong commitment, strong conviction, and strongest possible voice to say no to child labor. We were marching from exploitation to education.
I am actually the third generation farm worker in my family. I began working in the fields at the age of 7, is what my mom recalls. I honestly recall it from the day out of the womb. Growing up in the fields was definitely hard. I missed a lot of school. I traveled a lot for work. My family was always on the hunt for the harvest. It's what we survived on. Working in the fields was actually normal to us. I didn't realize there was a problem. At the age of 7, it was normal. Listen to me. It was normal for me to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, put on my shoes, put on a T-shirt, and go work in the hot sun. Burning, my back was aching, 20, 30 pounds of buckets of cucumbers next to me, trying to make ends meet. I definitely feel like there's a problem, and it's not just in other countries, it's also in the United States. It's in our backyard, and a lot of people fail to realize it. Once I realized that there was a problem, I realized that there needed to be a change.
Much of child labor, particularly in the agricultural sector, takes place in family farms or in informal family enterprises. And in fact, they become hidden and invisible to government and society and social partners at large. And the DG emphasized the need for a sustainable approach to tackle the issue. And as employers, we fully agree. And in order to achieve such a sustainable approach, it is imperative that we have a collaborative and multi-stakeholder approach.
Every year, children die simply because they're working in agriculture. That happens in all parts of the globe. It's not just a developing country situation. So for us, one of the things that we want to do, and we would like to see taken up more, is that we put together the package of conventions that are necessary to drive the change. And so one of them would, of course, be Convention 184 on safety and health in agriculture.
Pour ce qui est de la santé et de la sécurité au travail, on prend conscience par les statistiques que le taux d'accident du travail chez les jeunes travailleurs est plus élevé, beaucoup plus élevé d'ailleurs, que chez les travailleurs adultes.
IPEC came from a great revolution about 30 years ago in seeing how the world economy works. It came from the consciousness which came from the transparency after walls came down and the market economy became universal. And what was visible behind those walls was that the old problems, child labor, forced labor, anti-union action, discrimination, they were there, and they were a factor in international economic relations.
It's urgent. You and I can wait. Politicians can wait for the next elections, but not the children, not their childhood can wait. So it's personal, it's urgent, and it's possible.